Okay class, our next chapter is similitude and model analysis. So starting with the discussion on the model analysis, we will first define what is a prototype and what is a model. So model is basically a small scale replica of the actual structure, while the actual structure or the machine is referred as a prototype. So if you see these figures, this is the figure of the actual structure or the prototype. LP1, LP2 and LP3 with the subscript P refers the dimensions of the prototype, while FP1, FP2 and FP3 are the forces acting on the actual structure. Now this is the model of this prototype. The dimensions of the model are scaled down to LM1, LM2 and LM3, and the forces are FM1, FM2 and FM3. Now in this particular case, the model is shown to be shrinked to a smaller scale, but it is not always necessary. Sometimes you can create the model on the larger scale as compared to the prototype. So it will all depend upon the analysis which you need to do. Similitude is a concept which is used in the testing of the engineering models. Usually it is impossible to obtain a pure theoretical solution of the hydraulic phenomena, and therefore experimental investigations are often performed on the small scale models, and that is called as model analysis. Few examples where the models may be used are ships in the drowning basins, airplanes in the wind tunnels, hydraulic turbines, centrifugal pumps, spillways of the dams, river channels, etc., and to study such phenomena such as the action of the waves and tides on the beaches, soil erosion and transportation of the sediment, etc. So these are few examples where model analysis is usually performed. Model analysis is actually an experimental method of finding the solutions of the complex flow problems. Following are some advantages of the model analysis. Number 1. The performance of the hydraulic structure can be predicted in advance from its model. Number 2. Using the dimension analysis, a relationship between the variables influencing a flow problem is obtained which help in conducting the test. And number 3. The merits of the alternative design can be predicted with the help of the model analysis to adopt most economical and safe design. It should also be noted that the tests performed on models can be utilized for obtaining in advance useful information about the performance of the prototype only if a complete similarity exists between the model and the prototype. Now we will start the discussion on the similitude, which will also include the discussion on the types of the similarities. So defining the similitude, it is the similarity between the model and the prototype in every respect, which means that model and prototype have similar properties or both of these are completely similar. Three types of the similarities must exist between the model and prototype, and those are geometric similarity, kinematic similarity and dynamic similarity. Now we will discuss these three one by one. So starting with the geometric similarity, it is the similarity of the shape. It is said to exist between the model and prototype if the ratio of all the corresponding linear dimensions in the model and prototype are equal or same. So it means that the ratio of the length of prototype and model is equal to the ratio of its width, and that ratio is equal to the ratios of their depth. So that will give you a constant factor LR. Also note that models are generally prepared with same scale ratios in every direction. Such a model is called as a true model. However, sometimes it is not possible to do so and different convenient scales are used in different directions, and such models are called as distorted model. Next similarity is the kinematic similarity. It is the similarity of the motion. It is said to exist between the model and prototype if the ratios of the velocities and acceleration at the corresponding point in both of the model and prototype are same. So if you see these equations, Vp is the velocity in the prototype, Vm is the velocity in the model, and we are considering 2 points 1 and 2. So at every point in the model and prototype, the ratios of the velocities and the ratios of their acceleration should remain same, and they will give you the velocity ratio VR and the acceleration ratio AR. Now one more thing that is important, it is that the velocity and acceleration both are the vector quantities, so they will also have some direction of application. So this is applicable not only on their magnitude but also their directions should also be parallel. Next one is dynamic similarity. It is the similarity of the forces. It is said to exist between the model and prototype if the ratios of the forces at the corresponding points is same. So either that is your inertial force, that is your viscous force, or that is your gravitational force. The ratios of these forces in the prototype and the model should be same, and that is giving you the force ratio Fr. And also the direction of the forces at the corresponding point in the model and prototype should also be parallel. Now we will discuss some types of the forces which can be encountered in fluid phenomena. The first one is inertial force, referred as Fi. It is equal to the product of mass and acceleration in the flowing fluid. Next one is viscous force, referred as Fe. It is equal to the product of shear stress due to the viscosity and surface area of the flow. Gravity force Fg. It is equal to the product of mass and acceleration due to gravity. Pressure force Fp. It is equal to the product of pressure intensity and cross-sectional area of the flowing fluid. Surface tension force Fs. It is equal to the product of surface tension and length of the surface of the flowing fluid. And last one is elastic force Fe. It is equal to the product of elastic stress and area of the flowing fluid. Now we will discuss the dimensionless numbers. These are the numbers which are obtained by dividing the inertial force by the other forces, which includes the viscous force, gravity force, pressure force, surface tension force, and the elastic force. As this is the ratio of the forces, so it will not have any dimension, so it is also termed as non-dimensional parameters. Following are the important dimensions numbers: Reynolds number, Froude's number, Euler number, Weber's number, and Mach's number. Now starting with the Reynolds number, it is the ratio of the inertial force to the viscous forces of the flowing fluid. So Re is the ratio of Fi and Fe. Fi is the inertial force which is the product of mass into the acceleration, and shear force is the product of shear stress and area. Further, this mass can also be written as rho into V, and this is the velocity over time. This V over T is giving the Q factor, and shear stress is tau in the formula. Its equation is mu du over dy. It can be further simplified as V over L. So after the simplification, this is the final equation for the Reynolds number, that is PL over nu. Second one is Froude's number. It is the ratio of the inertial force to the gravity force of the flowing fluid, and on the similar basis this equation can be simplified to have the final relation, that is V over under root GL. Next we have the Euler number. It is the ratio of the inertial force to the pressure force of the flowing fluid, and the final relation is V over square root of P over rho. Next we have Weber's number. It is the ratio of the inertial force to the surface tension force of the flowing fluid, and the equation is V over square root of sigma over rho L. And last one is the Mach's number. It is the ratio of the inertial force to the elastic force of the flowing fluid, and the relation is V over C, where C is the constant, which is having the value of square root of K over rho. Now we will discuss some model laws or similarity laws. So as you know that the dynamic similarity ratio of the corresponding forces acting on the prototype and model should be same. It means that for all the forces these ratios will be equal. Now force of the inertia will come in play when sum of all the other forces are not equals to 0. It means that sum of the viscous force, gravity force, pressure force, surface tension force and elastic force. If their sum is not equals to 0, then their sum will be equals to the inertial force. And if we further simplify this equation in the form of the above equation, we will have this form. Now in the case when all the forces are equally important and we cannot skip any of the force, then these equations are not easy to simplify or satisfy about the model analysis. But for the practical problems, it is seen that one force is more important as compared to the other forces considering the phenomena which is under consideration. So that is why for the practical problems, only the most significant force is considered for the dynamic similarity. And that is why models are designed on the basis of the ratios of the force which is dominating in that phenomena. Following are some laws for the dynamic similarities. So these are Reynolds model law, Raoult's model law, Euler model law, Weber's model law and Mach's model law. We will discuss first two in our discussion. So starting with the Reynolds model law, it is based upon the Reynolds number and it states that Reynolds number for the model must be equal to the Reynolds number for the prototype. It is usually used in the problems where viscous forces are dominant and that includes the case of the pipe flow and the resistance which is experienced by the submarines, airplanes and fully immersed bodies. So just compare the relations for the Reynolds number for the prototype and the model and we can have this simplification. Various ratios for the Reynolds numbers are obtained as by using the basic relations for the Reynolds number. So the first factor is the velocity ratio. It can easily be calculated by using this main relation. So if you just simplify this above relation for Vp over Vm, you will get this equation. Over here, mu P over mu M, that is the ratios of the kinematic viscosity for the prototype and the model, that is giving you mu R, and this Lm over Lp, that is the ratio of the length in the model to the length in the prototype, that is 1 over Lr, as Lr is Lp over Lm. Similarly, time ratio Tr, that is the Tp over Tm. Time can be calculated by using the relation of the velocity. So it will be simply distance over velocity Lp over Vp. Similarly, for the model, it is Lm over Vm, that is Lr over Vr. Next is acceleration ratio Ar, that is Ap over Am. So acceleration is simply velocity over time, so that is Vr over Tr. Discharge is A into V, so it is simply A into V relation for prototype and the model, and by simplifying the relation, this will be your final equation for the discharge ratio. Force is M into A, so it can be simplified by writing M as rho AV and A as velocity over time. So this will be your final relation, and power ratio is simply Fr into Vr. Fr is already calculated as rho R Lr square into Vr square, and further you will have this Vr of the formula. So this is the final relation. Okay, now we will start with the numerical problems. First problem states that a pipe of the diameter 1.5 meter is required to transport an oil of specific gravity 0.9 and viscosity of 3 × 10⁻² poise at the rate of 3000 liters per second. Tests were conducted on a 15 cm dia pipe using water with a viscosity of 1 × 10⁻² poise. Find the velocity and rate of the flow in the model. So first of all, we will use the concept of Reynolds model law, as the concerned condition is the pipe flow. Now if we write down the data for the prototype and the model, the diameter, viscosity, discharge and specific gravity is given. Further, we can calculate the density of the oil using the specific gravity by multiplying it with rho of the water, that is 1000. It is coming to be 900 kg per meter cube. Similarly, this is the data for the model given in the statement, and we have to find out the velocity of the flow and discharge of the flow in the model. So for the pipe flow, according to the Reynolds model law, this is the basic equation. And as we have to calculate the velocity, we can simplify this equation in the terms of the velocities ratio. By just putting the formula, we are getting the ratio as 3. So it means that we can calculate Vm by using this ratio and Vp. Vp is simply discharge over area ratio in the prototype. Area of the flow in the prototype is pi d square by 4, where d is the diameter of the pipe cross section. So that is coming to be as 1.697 meter per second, and if we multiply it with the ratio 3, we are getting the answer as 5.091 meter per second. So this is the first required answer. Second, we have to find out the discharge in the model, that is simply A into V. So the answer is coming to be as 0.0899 meter cube per second. Now the second problem is again the application of the Reynolds model law. In this case, we have to consider the resistance offered by the flow when we are considering a ship, and when it is in the fully submerged case where we are considering a wind tunnel. So scale ratio is given as 1 into 100. It means that LP over LM is 100. It can give you the length of the ship in the model, so that is coming to be 3 meter. Rest of the data is also given, and we have to calculate the velocity of the ship in the prototype and resistance in the prototype. So these are the two factors which we have to calculate, and we will simply apply the dynamic similarity law by the Reynolds model law, and we will simplify the equation for Vp. So as resistance is a force which is equals to mass into acceleration, this is the equation. So ratio of the forces is basically giving this equation. We will just put the values, and we can find out Fp through this, as we know the value of the parameters other than Fp in the formula, including Fm. So this is the resistive force in the prototype, that is 22150.2 Newton. Next model is Froude's model law. It is based upon the Froude number, and it states that Froude's number for the model must be equal to the Froude number for the prototype. It is used in the problems where the gravity forces is only dominant to control the flow in addition to the inertial forces. These problems include free surface flows such as flows over the spillways, weirs, sluices, channels, etc. Flows of the jet from the orifice or nozzle, waves on the surface of the fluid. So if we just compare the equations for the Froude equation for the prototype and the model, we can simplify the equation as given over here. As you have done for the Reynolds model law, similarly the simplification can be done for the Froude's model law, and the relations for different ratios can be simplified. So these are the relations for the velocity ratio, time ratio, acceleration ratio, discharge ratio, force ratio, and the power ratio. The next problem is regarding the spillway. So in the model test of a spillway, the discharge and the velocity of the flows over the model were 2 cubics and 1.5 meter per second respectively. You have to calculate the velocity and discharge over the prototype, which is 36 times the model size. So this is the data for the model, and this is the data for the prototype. You have to calculate QP and VP. So as it is the case of the spillway, so you will apply the equation for the Froude's model law. This is the equation for the discharge ratio in the Froude's model law, and solving it you can simply calculate QP. Similarly, the equation for the velocity ratio is square root of LR, and this will give you VP. Similarly, this next problem is also on the spillways, and this is the given data for the model and prototype. This is the solution, so it is on the same basis as you have done in the previous problem using the Froude's model law. Now there are two basic types of the models. considering the scale on which they are developed. One is undistorted or true model, and second one is distorted model. True model is that in which geometrically similarity exists between the prototype and the model, or in other words, the scale ratio for the linear dimensions of the model and its prototype are same. The behavior of the prototype can be easily predicted from the results of the undistorted or the true models. Second one is the distorted model. In this case, the geometrical similarity does not exist between the model and the prototype. Different scale ratios for the linear dimensions are used in this model. This type of the model is usually applicable where you have a larger difference between the horizontal and vertical dimension, and the simplest example is of the river. So if you keep the scale for the horizontal and vertical dimension to be same for the river, in that case the depth of the water will be very less. So you can use different scale for the horizontal and vertical dimension, and that will be an example of the undistorted model. Sorry, for the distorted model. So it has following advantages. The vertical dimensions of the model can be accurately measured, the cost of the model can be reduced, and turbulent flow in the model can be maintained. So on the same basis, we can practice the scale ratios for the distorted model. For the horizontal scale ratio, it will be the ratios of length and width in the prototype and in the model, and for the vertical scale ratio, it will be the ratios of the depth. So these are the scale ratios for the velocities, area and discharge considering its horizontal and vertical scale ratio. Now in this case, the discharge to the weir is given as 1.5 cubics. The scale ratio for the horizontal direction is 50 and the scale ratio for the vertical dimension is 10. You have to find out the discharge through the model of the weir, Qm. So simply you will apply the formula for the scale ratio for the discharge, Qr, and that will give you Qm. Now in this problem, you are given with the case of the river flow. The discharge of the river is given as 450 cubics. Width and depth of the flows are given. Horizontal scale ratio and vertical scale ratios are 250 respectively. You have to find out the discharge in the model and you have to check the corresponding Reynolds number. So you can simply find out Qm by using the scale ratio for the discharge, Qp over Qm, that is giving you Qm as 6.365 10 raised to the power minus 3 cubics. Now you have to check the Reynolds number. The standard equation for the Reynolds number is VL over nu. Now in this case, this L will be further modified considering the river flow. So that is 4 times of the Rm. So you will find out area of the flow, you will find out the perimeter, and you will find out the hydraulic radius, that is R. So in this case, this length is 4 times of this Rm. Kinematic viscosity is used as 1 10 raised to the power minus 6 meter square per second, and this will give you the Reynolds number as 54492.31, and as it is coming to be more than 2000, so the flow is in the turbulent range.